Yo, what is good, y'all? It is Sanos4292 here. And today I kind of wanted to talk about money because I'm looking into buying a house within the next year. And so I've been kind of scouring, and by scouring I mean I have a Google Sheet. I have several things popped up on my browser right now that are just, you know, various things related to money, mortgage costs, based on my credit, how much I'd be paying for month, realtors pulled up, realtor sites pulled up, and I kind of wanted to talk about that today, because it's something I'm kind of good at. I don't have a math brain, I have a money brain, if that makes sense. So when it comes to like the way money functions, the way that I deal with money personally. I like the way I deal with it personally is I tend to think of it as like, okay, yes, I'm very good and very knowledgeable about how to research savings accounts, how to do all of that. It's I'm of the opinion you can't take this shit with you when you die. Um, so I tend to spend a lot. I don't lose money every month. I mean, I do, but it's in the sense of I pay my bills. Once all of my bills are paid, once I have make sure my rent's paid and that my cat is taken care of, after that, I view it as okay, the rest of this I can spend. The whatever I however much I have left over that, whether that be $1,500, whether that be $30, it's like okay, I can now safely go spend this because the rest of what I have to take care of this month is has already been taken care of. So that is the way I tend to look at money. But now that I'm looking at buying a house, now that I'm looking at all of that, I've been doing research into savings accounts, into like high yield savings versus an IRA versus, like all of this different stuff. And so I figured I'd make a video talking about it just to get it out there and kind of give me a way to talk about it because it's been a lot of thinking today. I don't work at all this week, so it's been a lot of okay. I need to start planning for my future. I'm 19, and obviously there's a lot of things you can't prepare for. But what like my thought of my goal right now is put pay all of the things I have to pay, and then everything else, rather than that being spending money, that goes into a high yield savings, that goes into an IRA, that goes somewhere where I don't have to worry, not that I don't have to worry about it, but where I'm not thinking about it and it's not going to sit there and be spent. Whether that be on Uber Eats, whether that be on DoorDash, whether that be on things I don't really need, because I want to start prepping for this. This is something that I want to make happen, and so I'm going to work on ways to make it happen. Um, and I do recognize there are issues with trying to buy a house right now. The economy is trash and is probably only going to get worse. Um, Wholeheartedly. This isn't me talking politics. Well, okay, it is. Just a little bit. The man we have in office is detrimental wholeheartedly to our economy. He has not raised it a single bit, and that scares me just a little bit. Sorry about the really weird cut there. Poor editing job by me. Um, but like there's a little bit of fear, but I'm also realizing with my truck breaking down the way it did, that me not having any sort of money saved up and purely living off of paycheck to paycheck when I'm getting excess income that I'm just spending is ridiculous and stupid and an abuse of the privilege I have, given that I have excess income and a lot of people don't. Um, and so I think from here on out, once everybody's been paid back, because as I've mentioned in the past, I loaned a lot of money to be able to get my truck at least semi functioning. Now it's an issue more with O'Reilly's than anything because they didn't have the right type of brake pads. I don't something with brake pads and something like that. That's more my mechanic buddy side than my side. Um, but so it's that realization and recognizing the privilege I have and the fact that I'm being irresponsible with it. Of course, part of that, I'm 19. I am, in most people's eyes, still a kid. So, and like I'm still learning. I will be the first to admit that I am still learning and that I'm not the smartest guy there is. And that, but it is me coming to terms with, and I think maturing a little bit. It would be a way to put it, I think, with that. I don't necessarily have to spend all of my money. I don't need to. It is not necessary or helpful to me, beneficial in any way to for me to keep spending my money the way I do. And so I think I'm fine. I'm not quite past that point where I'm like, yeah, let's go blow $40, $1,500 on a new gaming setup. I can buy a truck. I can do all of this. I'm not quite past that point. Partially because of age, partially because like just the way I view life. I could die tomorrow for all I know, and that money, yeah, it could help somebody else, but it also some mostly selfishly, it does not benefit me in any way that I see, or there is no benefit to me, and that is what I tend to look for in life. Again, I do recognize the privilege in that statement. There is a lot of privilege in the sheer statement that I have this money that I'm going to spend because there's nobody I want spending this money. But like, it's also, and like, I'm not rich by any means. I work a retail job. I work for what I have. It's just I got very fortunate with the fact that I pay $500 a month in rent. And so I'm like, okay. And like, I pay my phone bill, I pay for my cat, and everything else is covered through rent because I live with my mom and my grandmother. I recognize that. And so that like recognition or realization is there, but it's also, this is a very irresponsible way to spend my money. And I think part of it is I like I didn't think I was living past 18. Fuck, I didn't think I was going to graduate high school because I didn't think I was going to make it that far. So I think now it's the realization that, okay, I have a future. I have things I want to do with my life, and I have motivation to be alive and to be a person. So let's start grinding towards those goals. Let's lock in and do our job and get our shit done, get our shit figured out. That, I think that is how I'm starting to look at life, and the realization that I can't keep living the way I'm living and that I need to change something about either how I'm spending or just how I'm living life in general. Something needs to change, and I think this is a step in that direction. So that does mean within the next year, streaming setup's going to change again. Audio will hopefully get better. It also means that a lot of the things I was planning for the house here, I'm probably not going to do. And so I'm like, the more I think about it, the more like, yeah, me getting furniture for the basement that I live in. Awesome. That would be great. And by furniture, I mean like more than a bed and the table that I game and stream on. That would be awesome. Getting like a desk, getting a couch, a couple chairs. That would be great. That's not needed. Because I want as little as possible to bring with me when I do move. Not out of like selfishness, but more out of like, I don't want to have to take 2 or 3 trips, because my plan is I'm moving 3.5 hours north of where I am now. I don't want to have to take 2 or 3 trips of that. That's 8 hours driving plus traffic. So closer to probably 9 hours driving back and forth. Doing that even over a couple of days is draining. I don't want to do that. And so I'm more thinking, okay, with everything I have right now, it would be really easy for me to move. I can fit all of my shit in my truck. I can PC, monitor, PS5, keyboard, all of that can go in my cap. The expensive stuff, the stuff that I care about, can go in my cap. The rest of it I can throw into totes, and that can go in my bed. And whatever doesn't fit in my bed, which I have a 6-foot bed, most of it will fit into my bed. Um, and ignore me teabagging the tank. But like this, just kind of this realization that, you know, I have privilege. I should be able to use that privilege, and it's more than just like political privilege and the fact that I am a white male that is mostly cis het passing. I'm not, but I have the benefit of being passing, so I do recognize there's advantages and privileges there. Um, and I do tend to speak out. I am a very politically vocal person. Most of my friends would probably tell you the same. Um, but just like money wise, I need to do the things I need and want to do, or not even the things I need and want to do. There are things I want to do, and there are things I need to do, and I need to start saving for those. I was pissed off at Lewis. I fucking hate Lewis. Um, and so I think that realization is kind of kicking in and is giving me more motivation every morning to go to work. More motivation every morning to start a second job, because if I start a second job, that's more income that I can throw into the savings account. And then that savings account or that IRA or whatever the fuck I throw all that money into, cool. That is more I have to put into the house, put down for the house, to use to buy my truck fully, to get the things I want and need to get out of, to make my house a livable space. The other thing is, I'm looking at a relatively cheap house right now. The houses I'm looking at are in the like $90,000 to $100,000 range, if not cheaper. Which still, that is a good amount of money. That is a lot of fucking money. That is triple my student. That is 100 times my student loans. I owe $2,300 to my school because I dropped out of college. Otherwise, like if I had gone fully, that would have been a full ride, and that's on me. Part of that is I didn't want to continue pursuing law enforcement anymore. So I think like I just need to grow up a little bit more and realize that I have shit I need to do and take care of. Um and step up. That is what this is at the end of the day. Um so talking about money, speaking of money, I'm gonna throw a little ad break in here. Hi, it's me from the semi-future. Not really. Same recording. Quite literally. This is all one audio script. Uh, Go to w.gg and use code Thanos4292 for 10% off. I know it's confusing because my username is Thanos4262. I was just too lazy to change it because it's 4292 on, I think, Discord or some shit like that. So that's what I was going off of, because that's what I thought it was. But use that code. I personally, I've tried 2 of their flavors. I enjoy both of them. Well, that's not true. I tried their Yazoo berry or their Yahoo berry. I have it over there. I just don't want to get up and grab it. I didn't like that one very much. That is personal preference. I didn't have an issue with the flavor. It was just not my style. And I'm going to be straight up about that. That was fucking Zoe. Not my style of drink. But I had their Grandpa's Denture Water, and I really, really enjoyed that one. That one was good. That one I really fucked with. I used an entire tub in a week. There's 40, 50 servings in a week, or in a tub. To be fair, I double scoop because I have a really bad caffeine addiction, but we're not going to talk about that. But yeah, go to w.gg for use code Thanos4292 for 10% off. You're supporting the channel. You're supporting a growing business. Benefits all around. Thank you. Going back to what I was talking about earlier, I think, and I think wholeheartedly, I think the fact that I'm coming to this realization now, there's benefit there. There is something in the long run, not even in the long run, but short term, this is a benefit. It's an investment. it's something that hopefully, as long as I play my cards right, will continue growing, and gaining in value, especially if I do the remodels that I want to do on it and do all of that. On top of that, it's something that, say, 10, 15 years down the road, my dream is to own a horse ranch and help foster kids and raise foster kids and raise horses and train and break horses, and raise sheep and like have a farm, have a ranch. That is my dream in life. That is something I've been saying since I was, I don't know, 10. And at this point, it is something I want to make happen. And I think this is a step in that direction, and it's a step in the right direction for me. But yeah, that is, I think, all I wanted to talk about today. Thank you all for coming in. Remember to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. I apologize for both the video quality and the editing quality. I am very new to this, and I'm still trying to, get a hold of everything. But comment down below, I don't know, your favorite pizza, some shit like that. I don't know, man. But yeah, have a good one.